Oh yeah, we on. We on. Wagwan. This is the Sports Time Zone. I am your host, Brother Numsin, alongside the one, the only, back in effect, Yanni Ma, the fairy plug mother. Wagwan, Yanni. Wagwan, Wagwan.
Hey, welcome.
You know what it is. Big things are going on. This is what we always do. We the only sports podcast that don't only focus on sports. We bringing you Thursday nights out of bounds. Topics outside of the sports world that we still letting y'all know we locked in. Before we even get started, shout out to my boy TZ Dave. You ain't in here right now, but make sure y'all hit the like, share, subscribe. Continue to show support and love. We almost at 5,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to Yanni Ma, the fairy plug mother, getting us up there. Shout out to you for that, for sure. Also, make sure y'all follow us on IG, SportsTime_Zone. Looking for more followers, more subscribers. Make sure y'all follow us on IG. We always go live there so you can catch the fresh content on IG as usual. Also, shout out to all of those that show love and support. Shout out to KE Creations. Shout out to 2BossyLLC.com. Shout out to Billionaire Society LLC. Seven Figure Society Marketing Agency in the building. Salute all independent bosses trying to get it. We out here trying to make a way. So, Yanni Ma, welcome back. Welcome back to the squad. Good to have you back. What's good with you? See you over there. We got a lit show for y'all. We got a lit show, man. We're going to talk about a lot. Again, this is Out of Bounds. So for those of y'all who's not really all about the sports life, you in the right place. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk a lot. A lot been going on. A young lady in Chicago that came up missing, and then she was found brutally beaten, stabbed. It was an ugly situation. We're going to touch on that. The missing lady in the Dominican Republic. Apparently, they still ain't found her. They do have somebody who's a person of interest. The Dominicans kept his passport. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about craziness going on at the airport. Flight attendants, gate attendants getting swung on. New developments in the murder of Mo 3. We got new developments on that. And the Wayans family being honored. So we're going to get into all that. But let's start this thing off. Since Yanni Ma is from the Chi, she has a lot of insight on this situation. We were talking a little bit earlier about a young lady in Chicago who apparently was with a group of friends, and they were at McDonald's and then get kicked out of the McDonald's. And then much later on, one of the young ladies, a 16-year-old, was found brutally beaten and stabbed. Could you enlighten us a little bit more on why going up there in Chicago with this situation? Because again, this is Women's History Month, so we want to do honor to the ladies and the women and bring in justice and attention to all of these subjects involving the ladies. Yanni Ma, take it away.
Okay, young ladies and older women. First of all, I want to just tell y'all that we need to start being more alert. And to be alert is to stay alive. We have to be alert, and we also have to be aware. And also, when you go out with a group of young women, y'all all leave together. Y'all all supposed to come back together. I don't care if Shakita tell me no, she don't want to. She about to wait for a minute. No, if y'all left together, leave together. Get each other's locations. If y'all got to do those air tags, y'all need to stop being so careless and being a lot more observative to y'all surroundings. Just because you grew up in this area for all your life, that does not mean that the people is going to treat you good. That does not mean that the people love you. That does not mean the environment cares about you. So y'all have to definitely be alert. Due to the fact that we all need to just bow our heads and give a little prayer for the family of the young lady Kayla Aaliyah Love. She was 16 years old. She was found dead around 5 p.m. on Monday in Holman Park. However, all her parents know that she went out. She got out of school. She went to McDonald's with her friends. And making a long story short, she never came home. And they found this baby face down, beaten, and stabbed to death. And no
Wow.
one's know anything, and no one's seen anything.
Wow, that's and you know the thing about I have really no words for that. Like I don't know what's going on with these kids and why we have a lot of situations where you're finding young ladies in Chicago that hanging out with a group of friends and then later on she gets found dead. Like I don't know if it's like these internet challenges or if you know these girls are just getting together uh basically plotting against their friends. Because if y'all remember, this ain't the first time. There was a situation a couple years ago in a freezer after she was hanging out with a group of friends. So this again, this is a nasty trend and I don't know where it started or why it happened. All I know is when I was young and I hung out with my boys and my people, I ain't never had to worry about my boys trying to set me up and jump and do all of this kind of wild foolishness like what you see them doing now with these young ladies. But again, it's definitely some foul play going on. She's at McDonald's with her friends. They get kicked out of the McDonald's for whatever reason. We don't even know why they got kicked out of McDonald's. I don't think Yanni Ma they even really touched on that and said why they got kicked out. But I'm wondering if there's surveillance footage from McDonald's, if there's any cause or reason or justification to why they got kicked out, if that has anything to do with her disappearance. Was there a fight between one of her and one of the other girls?
No, not to cut you off. They were saying that teenagers was just basically being teenagers, if that makes sense. They said the security guards put them out because they was being teenagers. And and you know, so they had to leave the McDonald's and all they know that the baby left with the friends. That's what they're saying. It wasn't about they nothing other harsh. That's
Wow.
all they got proof that they did just leave out together, and that was that.
So they got something right here saying Chicago police is
So it
investigating
was just
reports
that.
of a female being beat in the park by a male. So
Yeah, that's what they were
some
saying.
dude did it, but they don't know who. No suspects yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's crazy. No
but
suspect.
they're saying they have
But
a
she was
person,
beaten and
a
then
person
she
in
was
entrance. You guys, y'all know how it be. I mean, how it be in the world. They always have a person in entrance, even if it's not the person per se. You know, when being a person in interest, just either somebody that because he was right there by it, or he was in the area, or you
yeah,
know how it be
yeah. They
sometimes.
need
Oh,
somebody
we
to point
seen
the finger
he
at.
was running from the scene.
Yeah, well, we know that. They just gonna stick that person of interest on a lot of people just because they need something and they don't want to look like they ain't got absolutely no clue what happened. So they'll just say, oh, we have a person of interest, or this is a person that we're just interviewing. They're not arrested and all of that, but they need something to stick, so they'll get something on somebody. And usually it's a brother. You know what I'm saying? Usually it's somebody black or it's somebody of color that they want to stick this person of interest label on. But there's definitely foul play here. Obviously, if
Of
they
course.
found this young lady 16 years old, okay,
And
16
that
years
baby,
old,
look
ladies
at
and
her.
gentlemen,
And
she ain't even
and
lived
she
her life yet, and
no, the
she's
baby
16 years
just
old.
yeah, the baby just
Junior high, bro.
Junior high.
say
And they find her in a bad predicament like that. While Yanni Ma gets her some technical difficulties over there, she froze. But nah, again, Q, you being a father, you know, and being a father and having a daughter, like how do you even approach like when your daughter says, I want to go hang out with my friends or I want to go to a slumber party? Because you know, these girls they having fight parties at some of their slumber parties. I done seen some wild
Yeah.
stuff. You seen some of that stuff, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Especially TikTok and all the other shit. Yeah. So,
TikTok, remember the young lady who went with her friends from North Carolina to
vacation.
Mexico.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and all of a sudden
Set
they
her
say
up.
that the girl had what did they say? They took her to they called 911 because the girl was like beaten
She was
half to
drunk
death.
or something. Yeah, they try to make it look like it was alcohol poisoning or something like that.
Yeah, something crazy like that, like it was alcohol poison. But then the coroner said, nah, this girl was beaten.
Yeah.
This girl was beaten, this girl was choked, and there was no charges to this day. No charges brought against anybody. And sad enough, this story repeats itself with our sisters and our young ladies that seem to, I don't know, they fall with the wrong crowd. It's almost like you can't trust, this younger generation can't really trust anybody. And I have a son. And so I tell my son all the time, like, look, man, you got to be careful. You can't really trust a lot of these people because you never know what they got planned or what kind of challenge or what kind of foolishness that they got going on. So
right.
That's just wild and crazy. Condolences to this young lady and her family. Shout out to, the law enforcement, because they got their hands full with this whole situation. So let's see if they get this one right, because there's got to be some justice for this young lady. And I just feel sad and bad. So my condolences goes out to her.
It make it hard nowadays. Like, I mean, you want your kids to do, things like what kids want to do, but it's like also like, man.
Yeah.
I let her go. Like, nah, you can't go. Stay your buddy home. You know what I mean?
It's tough. It's really tough. It's real tough as a parent. I'm very glad I don't have a daughter, because I know how I am, and I probably wouldn't allow my daughter to do a lot of stuff, and she'd probably hate me because she'd think I'm not letting her live her life, not letting her do what she want to do, not letting her have her way. But I get paranoid when I see stuff like that, and I just be like, nah, you ain't going out with your friends, none of that. So that's unfortunate situation. Now, also transitioning to something a lot similar. I don't know if any of y'all are following this situation, but there was a young lady who went missing in the Dominican Republic. This young lady is from, went to the University of Pitt. I think she's a Pittsburgh Panther. Her and a group of friends went vacationing in the Dominican Republic. And she came up missing. They have a person of interest or a suspect right now that they're holding. This suspect, or I ain't gonna call him a suspect because they're saying he's not a suspect, he's a person of interest, is an American white male who says he was hanging out with her the same night that she came up missing. A wave swept her away and swept her into the ocean, and he don't know what happened to her. He said he woke up on a beach unconscious and didn't know what happened the night before. He don't remember nothing. Cue the beat. We have a clip of that. Let's see what the people what they had to say on this clip.
Now seeing and hearing from the witness in the case of a college student missing on spring break.
Yeah, he's not a suspect and says he wants to go home now, and a judge is weighing in. Here's ABC's Rhiannon Nally.
The man police believe was the last to see missing University of Pittsburgh student Sudiksha Kunanki alive appeared before a judge in the Dominican Republic, pleading to be allowed to return home.
Okay.
You want to go home.
Yeah, now let's stop it right there. First of all, he's pleading to go home. His family and friends back in America are saying, but he wouldn't hurt a fly. He's a good guy. They need to let him come home. We demand justice. The American government or spokesperson for the United States is also lobbying and politicking for this young man to be given his passport back so he can get home. Now, remember, the United States does not allow the Dominican Republic to extradite criminals or American citizens from America to bring them back to Dominican Republic for trial. So, yeah, exactly. What? So in other words, if he gets his passport back and makes it back to the United States, they're not going to be able to prosecute him in the Dominican Republic. So the Dominicans know this, and they're holding on to his passport to make sure that there's some justice served. Because remember, Q, And Yanni, this is not the first situation in the Dominican Republic where an American citizen came up missing or died. So I think them Dominicans is trying to clean up the image and let it be known that this was done by another American. This wasn't done by no Dominican. This was done by another American. He was the last person seen with her. He don't remember what happened, but all of a sudden, she just drowned and disappeared when you were the last person that was around her. Come on, yo. If he was a brother, we know good and well.
He'll be under the jail.
If he would be under the jail. So if he was a brother, do you think the United States would be coming out saying, "Oh, he's innocent. Let give him his passport back. We demand that y'all let." No, they'll be like, "Hey, y'all got him. Y'all deal with him. Do what y'all want to do with him."
Look
But
at that face. He says, "I'm innocent."
go ahead, run the clip. Continue.
College student Joshua Reeby saying in court, "I understand I'm here to help, but it's been 10 days and I can't leave." Reeby has not been charged with a crime. He was with Kunanki the night she went missing on the beach, saying they got hit by a large wave and saying he helped her back toward shore and thought she went back to her room. Reeby's family
What?
claims he obtained.
I don't mean to laugh at nobody's death, but what?
All lies.
I thought she went back to her room. I helped
After a
her back to
tragedy.
shore.
A little tragedy almost happened. You just
That's
said, "Oh,
crazy.
okay."
So,
See you at the room.
so between the time of him walking her back to shore and him getting back to his room, he's saying he don't know what happened to her. Like she just went back into the water by herself, went swimming and got swept up by a wave. He don't know what happened. All he knew is he helped her back to shore and he ain't seen nothing else after that. That's his story now. His first story was they both got swept by this wave. She got sucked into the water. He tried to go and save and rescue her, but the wave was so strong that it just pulled her, and then he ended up unconscious on the beach and woke up not knowing what happened. That was his first story. And then he switched up his story to what you just heard right there. Q, go ahead and run the clip.
Illegally.
You able to take them back home?
That's his dad.
The judge yesterday handed Reeby a partial victory, saying he'll no longer be under police surveillance, but the judge refused to return his passport. Kunanki's parents have now acknowledged their daughter likely drowned after being shown how high the waves were that night.
Okay,
The Kunankis
and you know
referencing
what?
Reeby without name.
I think we good on that now. That we got enough of that information to kind of piece together what we think here. So we're gonna play detective here. I mean, I'm not gonna say this is definitively what happened, but I'm gonna play detective, and this is my version. Yanni, you can give your version. Q, you know, if you want to chime in, you give a version or not. But what I think happened was they had some drinks. Because clearly they were having drinks when they were at the bar. The camera showed them at the bar together having drinks. I felt like they had some drinks. They went walking along the beach. Things got a little hot and heavy. Your boy probably got a little bit too much liquor in his system and tried to get a little bit too close to her. She wasn't feeling it. He probably tried to force himself onto her. She screamed, and next thing you know, she's in the ocean and gets swept out into sea. Or maybe they was playing and roughhousing and he got too rough and then she got swept off. But there's no way nobody can tell me that he don't know what happened to that girl. That's my version of what I think happened. I'm playing detective. Yanima, what would you say? If you were a detective trying to piece this together, what's your speculation on this?
I would say that first of all, I just think that even if it might could have been a drastic accident, like you said, with both of them being intoxicated. However, they probably would just be walking along the shore. Even if he probably was trying to rush off on her. And she probably was trying to Like say like if maybe if she was trying to get away from him and she probably slipped and fell and he was
Mm,
so scared and intoxicated. You know, a lot of people that be so scary, they always act like, oh, I would have did this. You don't know what you would have did when the situation happened firsthand. So either
yeah,
like you said, I'm not against what you saying either, because baby, you know, it's a lot of different stories to one situation. So that might can be true, but either way it go, it's still something. He's missing a big piece of the puzzle, because either way it go, how did she get in the water? And if y'all got in the water together, how is it that y'all got out and you didn't walk her to her door? I thought that's what men's do. And
yeah,
y'all was on a date, so you supposed to walk her to the door after that tragic.
yeah. No, you right. And I think he probably did freak out. You probably right. Maybe he freaked out. Maybe just like you said, they both got drunk. He probably got tried to get too close to her. She was like, "Nah, get off me," and he was like, "Nah, come on." And then he played around with her too much, pushed her, or she still fell and stumbled. Regardless of something, he knows something. You can look in his eyes. I can look in that boy's eyes and tell he knows something that he ain't saying. And a couple of years ago back, or several years ago, Urine Vandersloot and this young lady, by her last name was Holloway or something like that. I remember she was in Aruba and he was last seen, another white boy, last seen with her. And all of a sudden, she came up missing. Now, eventually, they did charge him with her disappearance. But, yo, something is fishy going on here. Why these young ladies be just coming up missing like that, and then they last be seen. Look at his face. Look at his face. Does that look like the face of somebody you would trust with your daughter, Q?
Man,
I wouldn't.
hell no.
And
I'm
the
saying,
thing, a lot of
Yanni,
people,
would you trust
They
that
got you
face with your
conducted.
daughter?
no, I wouldn't trust his ass to walk her across the street. But just as a woman, but I mean, because it's not like more so like just a bias thing, far as you know, a gender role. However, a lot of people be having a hard time with accepting rejection. So maybe it was like out of rage too. What if she rejected him or something? You know,
That's what I'm
and
thinking.
Push off
he
thing.
probably snapped out or something.
What were they on, a raft?
They
They was
no,
Boat?
walking along
he said they was walking. They was walking
On the
along the
pier?
beach
On the pier?
where some water was at, and
on
she
the
just
shore, like the
both of
shore,
them
the coast.
supposed to been a fell in though, and they got out. So how did she still end up down?
It don't make
Exactly.
sense.
That's what I'm saying. His story don't add up. It don't make sense. He looked like the type of cat that would get you shit faced, and then he getting, and then look at his like he just looked like he would do it. And I hate to be stereotypical and judgmental and judge a book by its cover, especially being a brother. I get judged by a cover all the time. Just every time I walk into a building or walk anywhere, and they see a brother, they see the dreads. Exactly. But this cat, something I feel right about this. Something feel real fishy about this situation. So we can't rock with him. And I hope that the Dominicans keep his passport long enough to get the real story out of him. Shout out to the Dominican Republic for not giving up that passport. Salute to the Dominican Republic, because we know if this was the Americans' choice, they would have had him free already. You see, they trying to let him get his passport back. But y'all lock into that story, ladies and gentlemen. For those of y'all at home who don't know about it, Google that, YouTube that. It's all over the news. And y'all piece together y'all story. But I guarantee you more is going to come out of that. Now, moving along. Another thing that the fairy plug mother brought to our attention is that there's new developments in the murder case of rapper Mo 3 from Dallas, Texas. That's right. A lot of y'all in Texas. I'm in Texas right now. Shout out to Texas. I'm loving being here, by the way. I'm visiting. I'm in Texas visiting my folks out here. I got people. Yeah, that's right. Brother Noomsy got people in Texas. I got people all over the place. But there's new developments in the murder of Mo 3, saying now that Yella Beezy, a fellow rapper from Dallas, was charged with hiring a hitman to kill Mo 3. Now, Q, you from Texas. My producer, Q the Beat, is from Texas, so he knows a lot more about this story than a lot of people do. And Yanni, being that you brought this to our attention, I'm sure you know a lot more about this, but it's still developing news and we're still getting more information on it. But wasn't Mo 3, was he killed like on a freeway or an expressway where someone got out the car and then hit him up with? First of all, Q, explain to me what happened. How was Mo 3 murdered? For those who don't know.
So apparently he was tracked down. So somebody had to know exactly where he was at. So apparently, like a female put an air tag or something in his car, something to track him down. So they found him on the highway. Had a shootout, and then apparently, I think an innocent bystander tried to come help, and they shot him too.
Wow!
And pretty much shot him down on the freeway and killed him dead. But it was like it definitely was a setup.
It had to be a setup. So Yanni, you were saying that there's somebody else who was involved that's on the run. So they did arrest Yella Beezy, but there's somebody else who's also involved that's on the run. Do you have any more info that you can enlighten us on that?
They was basically just saying that Fredo Bankroll, that he on the run too. So I guess that he's a co-conspirator, or shall we say guilty by association. I don't know.
So
a suspect number 2.
So the fact that there's 2 of them, so they got Yella Beezy and now
the capital murder.
Right. So one of them, so basically what it looks like is Yella Beezy paid him to go and pull the trigger.
Or paid somebody. It's something. Or they conspirated together,
or they put their money together to pay this hitman to go and handle the business. So where are they getting this info from? Did the hitman come forward and he took a plea deal so that like, look, I'll give y'all the information?
That, not to be being funny, how the articles, I guarantee you by tomorrow we'll have more than what we know, because that was just one of the first, or like maybe a few articles that just came out, and the few articles that then came out already, they're saying the same thing basically so far. So it's not really nothing else to elaborate on. You got to give the Facebook detectives, the real detectives, and the nosy folks a couple more hours to do their research.
They got to, because this is similar to the situation that happened with Young Dolph. Remember, Young Dolph was hit up at a location where somebody had to know he was there. Somebody had to have the drop on him, and then the hitters rolled up on him and squeezed off on him. And then lo and behold, once they get busted, they start singing like a canary. They telling it all.
And first of all, they talk too much up in their songs. That's another thing that the new, like when these rap artists, or slash, shall we say, the CEOs and the producers and the managers hire these new up and coming artists, what they need to teach them is artist development, how to what to say, what not to say. Like they need public speakers. They need people to help them and show them what to do and what not to say, because a lot of the artists is really in jail because they snitched on themselves. It don't be the people be snitching on them, they snitch on themselves in the songs. Stop talking too much. And then if that's the only thing that you got to rap about, all jokes aside, and I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, and I'm telling a lot of artists, the upcoming artists and the other artists, if that's all you got to rap about is killing, having relations with women's out here that is meant to provide and to help these men that's out here, then they lost as a artist, because it's more to life than just rapping about killing and fucking on females or men's and all this other stuff. And then y'all telling on yourselves, and then y'all get mad when y'all go to jail, and then the hoes get the home, and family don't want to be family no more. You was the breadwinner.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you right, you choose your bread, you get your bread, and you start making effed up choices now, because people be out here thinking that they invincible with that money. You're never invincible. And just like it was up, you'll be down. People don't understand that. And just like God give it, he could take it. And this is a prime example. And a lot of our black men is definitely crashing out with the new artists and the generations, because all our artists in jail for snitching on themselves. But okay.
They on snitch.
Do you hear me?
You said a
It
whole
don't be.
mouthful
It
with
don't
that.
even be some of the females or they girls. You know how not to be making fun. You know they try to make it seem like that the women's when they want to break up with the other women or they want to cheat and do this. It don't be them women. Them women don't be that mad. They don't never be snitching and be telling on these men. It be the men telling on themselves.
Nah,
Well,
yeah, you right. The women
I
just do the
mean,
setup part, like set them up.
I can't really even argue with that because, like you said, what does drill rap come from? And not that Mo3 or Yella Beezy are drill rappers, but they're from the same era that the drill rap came from. And what is drill? And you being from Chicago, you know what they do is they go murder somebody and then go make a song about the murder that they just committed. Like detailed. I'm talking about they say names. They talking about they smoking on whoever just got killed. They talking about, yeah, I did it. Like they letting you know they did it. And that's the generation that we're in right now when it comes to hip hop. And I don't even want to call it hip hop, Q. I don't even want to call it that. But you gotta keep it a buck.
Um, what I call it is just a big pool of rap ciphers. Live rap ciphers. That's all that is. Because a rap cipher you can say and like what you call that, no bars and no punchlines left behind. And when they get in them booths, they be thinking that it's a cipher whole time. It's not. Your life depends on a lot of them songs that they be rapping and that they be talking about because that's the new norm. This is the new generation. So how you think a lot of these police officers cracking these cases because of social media, the detectives, the social media detectives, the peoples. You listening to the words, and then like you say, you talking about you smoking on dead peoples and saying all
Mhm.
this and saying all that. Then they doing all this killing with the same clothes on, with they cars, with the girlfriend cars, with the mama cars. Like they put themselves in a lot of fucked up situations.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I
I
agree.
agree.
I just hope that there's some justice brought to whoever is the murderer of Mo 3 because I just wanted to,
Anybody.
yeah, anybody. And with the Mo 3 situation, because of the fact that he's a very talented artist, he was extremely talented. And I think he was on his uptick. So I'm starting to think about motive. Like, what was Yella Beezy's motive for trying to take him out of here? Was it the beef that he had with Yella Beezy's manager? Because I understand that Mo 3 put them hands on Yella Beezy's manager. So was it
Yep.
that? Was it just the success that Mo 3 was having?
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying?
what
Like,
be so crazy though, and what be crazy though too, I get the face to back then, we used to
Uh
have
oh.
good old
Listen
fighting
up a
then.
little bit.
your audio is glitching out a
Can
little bit, Yanni.
you hear me? Hello,
I can hear you. I think you
hold on.
going through it. Yeah, I think you going through a rough area. Go
Yep.
ahead and repeat
Okay.
that.
Okay. I said where back in the day, like where back in the day you can have a good fight and then have to really think about a man trying to kill you or doing nothing that because you would shake up, y'all will give each other y'all dabs.
Oh,
Shit,
them
may the
times
best
is
man
over.
win.
Yeah, them times is over now. If you whip
Yeah.
somebody, they gonna come back with them sticks.
No,
Like,
and I'm not against that, but I'm still saying though, how is it that you want to retaliate on someone from getting into a fight? You feel like that just because this man had a fight with him, you felt that he should die for that?
yeah,
See,
that's
the
ridiculous.
ego, people fighting the ego spirit, and
Emotionally,
and
what would
they
I
and
was
they
remember
letting
last week, y'all
letting
taking
it out.
accountability? Yes, emotionally, they crash outs.
Mm-hmm.
But you're
Yeah,
not gonna tell
Ego
me from a
gets
little
triggered.
ass whooping you want a person to die. Now you in jail. Not to be being funny, you feel me? Your kids, other man gonna raise your kids. Then you know you the breadwinner and the provider of the family. That's what blows me with a lot of them. I'm being so serious. Y'all the providers. Y'all the breadwinners. Y'all the ones that a lot of kids. Even though they might be rapping about what they rapping about, kids be looking up to them. So you telling me that you gonna jeopardize all what you done built, like just to go to jail, and then you're gonna lose everything that you done created.
yeah,
Mhm.
and that's the thing with this generation.
That's
I
that's
think
you know that's the thing right there. Where if our people's out here take accountability and we just I don't know, like for real, it's just crazy. Like you could die.
I don't think,
or
honestly,
talk about.
I don't think this generation really values life. I don't think they really value life the way that we did or generations before. Like life really doesn't mean much to these kids. Like,
Nah,
That's
shit, I say
because
that they chasing
it's
death
it's
shit.
it's so different. Yeah, people they don't believe that there is anything beyond this sometimes.
yeah,
So they
yeah,
just living for the moment. The YOLO, all that, those terminologies came out. So they living in the moment of now, the
Then
so
a lot
what
of people,
moment. Like, so what?
yeah, and a lot of these
that
kids feel
YOLO.
like when you have a a little altercation or just anything, oh, you disrespected me, oh, you this, like it don't even be
Yeah.
about the disrespect or whatever. Some people don't know how to listen to understand. They listen to respond. That's why, prime example, like why a lot of people's will have, like say like if some people's in relationships, how some people relationships where you can't even have a conversation with your spouse because they feel like everything that you say is they always thinking that it's confrontation or that you're trying
Hmm.
to argue with them, but really you're just communicating. A lot of people communication skills, that's the issue right there. It's not
Big
Yeah.
communication
time,
skills no more
Yeah.
days.
Absolutely.
big
And I'm
time.
and I'm
They
really
take offense
blaming
to
the
what you're
school
saying.
systems too. I'm calling out the school systems due to the fact that if you really look at it with the yes, with the white ethnicities and with the Mexicans and with all those other schools and all those like in different states, look what they be offering for our kids. They offer over 5 6 different ethnicity classes. They offer the what like the baby class where they give them the baby and like teaching them
Yeah,
how it
there's
will feel to become a parent. They got all type of programs and sponsorships and stuff. Versus now we have CPS schools, and I have been looking at that a lot. And I see, like, I watch the news, ABC Live. What I don't like about ABC Live too, yes, they talk about okay, it's a little positivity far as the kids or whatever. However, what they don't pinpoint is the CPS schools. Those schools that they be talking about is schools in different areas, what you call mid class, you know what I'm saying, or a little upper class.
Mhm.
Our middle class slash the quote unquote the urban communities, those schools they don't offer that for them kids. Them they
they
don't give a
don't.
damn.
Mhm.
Them
Yeah,
kids
they
don't know
don't.
nothing about no speaking, not to be being funny, because they teach them just basic shit, writing, reading.
Yeah, there's just the
Kids
basics.
these
They
days they ain't
definitely,
even getting
yeah,
no homework. They don't even
they
be
don't.
having books.
They
Oh
definitely
yeah,
don't.
then they give them a bonus. They boost their grades up just to
They,
pass
they
the
they don't.
beginning
Yeah,
out
there's
the next
definitely
grade.
a difference in the level of education in our community versus what you see in others. But for those of y'all who
Yeah.
just joined us and who just tuned in, 'cause I see we got a couple new viewers. What we're talking about right now is the case of Mo3, who was murdered, the Dallas rapper who was murdered years ago. There's just been new developments that fellow Dallas rapper Yella Beezy's been arrested for hiring a hitman to murder him. And that's what we're talking about. And it just trickled down into our community versus the other communities and education, the school systems. Like, we always need a place to point the finger because we got to find a solution. And the solution, as always, starts with education. So, to the point that Yanni Ma just gave, and also what Q the Beat was saying, it starts with educate. Like, we not on level playing field. We don't have the level playing field in our community that they also have, that they have in other communities. We don't have the different programs and the different classes and the different ways to reach our youth like they have in these other communities. But we do have the money in our community. So we have millionaires, we have billionaires, we have moguls in our community that can change and make the difference. But it's got to start with education. So I don't want to spend too much time on that topic, but y'all can kind of get the drift of where we coming from. Make sure y'all hit that like, share, subscribe. Make sure y'all follow us on IG SportsTime_zone. Now, moving into our next topic. Now, this one is wild, yo. This is wild. We all have traveled on different airlines. I know I fly frequently. Q to Beat, I'm sure you've been on a few flights yourself. Yanima, we know that you're well traveled, and we know that you get flued out and you go and fly different places. We all know, we've all been at different airports and had encounters with either another passenger that was rude or a passenger that was drunk or whatever. But in this particular case, a man in Maryland is boarding a flight. Now his flight gets canceled, so they rebooked him on another flight. And on this other flight, they assigned him to a middle seat. This man was not having that middle seat. He was already sidebar or whatever they call it, at the airport when you go and get loaded. He gets loaded, walks up to the ticket counter. The ticket counter man says, "Okay, here's your seat. It's a middle seat." And cue the beat, run the clip. This is what happens. This is wild, y'all.
Outside Bob Varner live at Dulles International Airport tonight with the story and
Y'all
the disturbing
gotta see
video. Bob.
Yo, he just swung on the ticket counter, man.
Now this is the video.
Oh, for what? Why?
This is the video that's blowing up. This is the video that's blowing up social media and helping police make their case. It's a short clip.
Come on, man.
This is wild. So look at my man. He's just walking casually up to the ticket counter. The ticket counter guy is like, "All right, yo, this is your seat, 23F or whatever it is." My man looks at the seat and clocks him.
Give me a middle seat? Yeah, we sure did, sir. Why? What's wrong? Think.
Like, yo, he curved it. That's
it was,
wild,
it was
yo.
a little harder than I thought it was.
Yeah, of course. And then he caught him off guard, Q. So imagine you just working at the ticket counter. You about to give this man his okay to get on the plane. You looked at, he wasn't even looking. Like, what? He looked the other way.
I told you not to give me a middle seat.
Hey, Pete, my man's left hand. He holds his arm to make sure that he ain't finna swing back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He waited for
You
this.
peeped that, right? He set him up. Cause I'm like, yo, why is it? I'll be like, why is this dude grabbing my arm? He grabbed his arm with the left hand and swung on him with the right hand, and then dropped him. Like, dropped my man. So my question to y'all. I don't mean to laugh, but it is kind of funny. Now, the consequences behind his actions. He's been put on. Look at him. Come on, y'all. Look at his face. He looked like he was
I
shit.
can whoop his ass though, man.
Like he looked. Anyway.
Anyway,
my man was charged with attacking an airline gate agent, and his penalty. His penalty was he was put on the no-fly zone for United Airlines. Not just banned from flying, period, but just for United Airlines. Now, y'all know good and well, if that man was of a different variety of person or ethnicity, they would have dragged him to the ground, put their knee in his back, or cuffed him up, arrested him, probably tacked on some other charges, and banned him from coming to any airport in any United States terminal. But
they would have tased him too.
Oh yeah, take that with you too, y'all.
And maced them. And pepper
spray them. They would have hit him.
They would put some watermelon around them.
They would have hit him with the dogs too. Like, we know how this would have ended. We know how this would have ended. But because he's of a certain ethnicity, he's allowed to walk up to a gate, swing on the gate agent, drop him, knock him out, walk away, and his only penalty is that he's not allowed to fly United Airlines no more. Like, come on, yo. Look at my man, yo.
Y'all should slap the shit out of him. America, when y'all see this dude, somebody should walk up to him and open hand slap that dude downwards from the forehead to the bottom.
Down, like lean downward with the slap. Y'all take that with you. Nah, but Q, you were saying if this was you, if you was the flight attendants who got hit, like, this man just walks up to you and punches you in the face, and you fall to the ground as you were trying to check him into his flight. What do? You said you would lay there.
I'm a LeBron. I'm a flop.
You gonna flop like LeBron?
I'm gonna lay down on the ground. I'm gonna be in the coma for 3 days. Yeah, I'm gonna play it out. I'm suing
I'm gonna
everybody.
lay
The
there, yo.
airport. Yeah, everybody.
I'm gonna lay
Everybody.
there. Yanni Ma, what's your thoughts? Like when you first saw this story, when you saw this, what were your thoughts of not only his lack of a penalty, but oh yeah, shout out to TZD in the chats. TZ Dave said, yeah, he blew out, most definitely. But Yanni Ma, what was your thoughts of this story as you watched it?
Where where was the security guards? Where was, you know what I'm saying? Like, just the people's, for real, the TSAs, like, how did they just let them just walk up to this man and just punch him like he was on Mortal Kombat or something? He just IU'd my boy like that. I felt so
What the hell
sad.
you?
I
He
did. I
held him
felt
too.
so sad.
Let me
He
hold your
needs to
arm,
get,
buddy.
yeah, he need his time off and he needs to
Oh,
be
Boom.
compensated too. Cause he hurt, cause that man hurt him, and now that video he has to resurface. That is pain for real,
Yeah.
like, and your family has to deal with that. So all jokes aside, though, I don't care about the man not able to fly on United Airlines. He should have no flying restrictions to all airlines. Cause if he just did that to a United Airline worker, he'll do it to any airline worker. Don't nobody want to hear no
hmm
apologies.
and you
What if
gotta
he
pay
knocked
the
Yeah.
that
money
man
because I
out? You
gotta
could have
live
hit
with
that man.
this.
You heard what I said? Not only I got to live with that, the video going viral.
Yeah,
So whoever recorded the video, they getting money. I want my cut from off them
I
videos.
want my cut too. Exactly. I gotta live with this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's gonna relive that trauma. And
And what if that man would have hit his
Look.
head? Y'all now know the last thing.
Oh
Y'all
yeah,
know how
on that
y'all know
table.
people that got hit. What? And then dad hit their head. What was that movie Above the Rim? With now was that Above the Rim? With
He got game.
Denzel Washington. Yep, he got gang.
He,
Come on
he
now,
he
got
let's
got
talk
game.
about it. You
game.
see? And you
Yeah.
see that was an accident.
Shout out to Sonia Johnson in the comments. She said he'll go to another airline and do the same thing or worse.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Not
Sonya.
if
Didn't I just say that? I just
Yeah,
said
you
that,
did.
Sonya dog. You hear me, Sonya? Tell the truth
Yeah.
not if
though.
we just
And
as Americans
but
slap the shit out of him
but
when
let
we
if it
see
that would have been a, shall we say, a African American or a Mexican or Venezuelan, they'll be in the jail.
Yeah. Yeah. And depending on where it is, like, it could I just don't have. If I'm sitting here watching this, because I done seen some wild stuff at the airport. Like I done been to the airport. I done seen a girl spaz out on the flight attendant. I done seen people fighting at the airport. I done seen people get arrested. I done seen customs walking people out when they sniff drugs out of their bags. I done seen a lot of wild stuff at the airport, but I have never seen a desk agent get swung on and knocked out. Like I've never seen that. So if I'm there, like what if you the person who's right behind this guy? Like you're about to get on the flight next, but now you can't get on the flight because he done knocked out the ticket agent. Now your flight is delayed. Now you can't even board the flight because I'm sure this flight had to be delayed after this happened. There's no way that this flight just went on business as usual. Like they had to stop all of the go through a whole protocol and all of that because he just knocked my man out. But again, to the point of what Yanni Ma said, this
I get it
is
though.
unacceptable. You get it?
Yeah.
What? Explain, Q.
I mean, you know how the airports can be. I know he mad, but it ain't you should never let it get to this level. But the airports can do the make you delay. You're gonna be sitting here
Yeah,
for hours.
yeah,
Your flight council.
Okay, that's
I'm,
fine. He
Miss
wasn't
your
an old
time. You
person
don't.
in a
Yeah,
wheelchair. He
but
wasn't blind,
he
and he
not
wasn't a
lying.
mother, a pregnant mother, and he wasn't having no toddler that was aggravating him. He was the
yeah,
Yeah, he out
aggravator
of
and the
line.
initiator. So I ain't no getting out of jail free pass because you was that mad. Because what for real, y'all, for the clip that we got for real, it was like soon he just walked straight up to the man and hit him. So it was like you didn't get a man a
yeah.
chance to even say anything.
Nothing. It's like the dude was even looking like he was friendly to him. He
Oh
turned his back and then he just
You hear
dropped
me,
him.
and then you gonna snake me like that, man? You gonna wait?
man,
You gonna snake me like that, huh, dog? You gonna hit me like that? I'm trying to make sure y'all have a safe flight.
Yo,
that dude
that's
said,
that's crazy.
I would
And then
quit. I wouldn't. I would not because I know people. Everyone needs their money and their sources of income. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, baby. I will not lie to y'all. I'm telling y'all the truth. I would have quit.
knock his ass up.
Oh
I
yeah, I'm
would
Yeah, I
never
would
in
quitting.
my
have.
life.
I got PTSD now.
Yeah, for real. Like I'm sure he about to get paid because this happens on the job. Like they supposed to protect him. Like you say, Yanni, where was security? Like there's no way like he was supposed to even be able to do that. Like there should be a security guard right there at the gate before you walk on. You should have to go through security. Just like you got to go
Oh,
through security to get back there, I think you should have to go through some kind of security to get on the plane. So yo, shout out to the the Maryland, whoever it is that apprehended this guy and put him in cuffs. Whoever did that, salute to you. But I feel bad for the gate attendant. So my man, that had to be his last day of work. There's no way
yeah, it
I
had to
come back
be.
to work. There's no way I'm coming back to work after something like that happens. So
Ah,
yeah,
nah.
No, I ain't
salute to
coming back, baby. I ain't coming back.
yeah. So I hope he's all right. I hope he recovers well and all that stuff. But yo, that was wild. Now
Get your boy. Get your
I-
money. Get your
If
money, boy. Get your
get that
bread.
bread, get that paper, get
you hear
that
me? Cause
paper.
I'm sick. I'm blind, y'all. I can't see. I'm legally blind now. Cause he did
Yeah.
knock the Mario coins out of me. So now I can't even work. I can't even be able to look at the flight tickets. I can't help
Hey,
nobody. I can't do nothing.
I'd still be laying down now.
You heard what I
4 days
said? My
later,
leg broke. My leg
they
I've
gonna
broke.
have
been walking
they gonna
circles.
have to scrape me up off the ground because I'm laying there forever. Like I'm just
You
gonna
gotta
lay
walk in
there and they
circles.
gonna have to come and scoop me. They're gonna scrape me up off the
For
ground because
real.
that's a wrap. But oh man. Moving along though to a lighter subject. There was
Wow.
a really big honor that was given out to some of my childhood favorite actors growing up. The Wayans family, for those of you who don't know, the Wayans family, led by Keenan Ivory Wayans and brothers Damon Wayans, Sean Marlon, Kim Wayans, the whole Wayans family was honored at the 56th annual NAACP Image Awards. And yeah, shout out, round of applause to the Wayans family, yo. This is a really talented family. For those of y'all, ladies and gentlemen, who don't know who the Wayans family is, first of all, have you been living under a rock?
Read
Second
a
of
book.
all, like, second of all, the Wayans family is one of the most talented families in the history of show business. They came onto the scene with a movie in the late 80s, early 90s called I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. And in this movie, it was like a skit movie or almost it was a satire movie about black community, but it was comedy. And it was a great movie, one of my favorite movies. But it introduced Keenan Ivory Wayans, his brothers, and the whole Wayans family into show business. They went on to do shows like In Living Color, and then the younger Wayans, Sean and Marlon, moved on into doing movies. I'm sorry, like White Chicks. Then they had their own show called the Wayans Brothers, or the was it the Wayans Brothers? What was the name of their show?
Yeah, that's the OG. That's the start right there.
That's what
When they
kind of
started getting that show.
kicked it off, right? Um,
Yeah.
Keenan Ivory Wayans opened up a lot of doors on that show in Living Color. He brought us Jim Carrey. He brought us Tommy Davidson. He brought us Bill Bellamy. He brought us
David Allegreer.
David Allen
There you
Greer,
go.
Jamie Foxx. The list goes
Jennifer
on and
Lopez.
on and on.
Whew.
So my question to you, Yanima, the fairy plug mother, what are some of the more fond memories that you have of the Wayans family? Or what's your favorite movie or show or memory of the Wayans family? I know it's so many of them. It's a lot. And don't forget Kim Wayans. Shout out to Kim Wayans, the only girl in the family during
To
Women's
hold the
History
fort
Month,
down.
holding it down all the
The
way
only
down. So
woman to
what's
hold the
your
fort down, baby. She been holding it down. Oh my goodness, y'all know. Basically, the Wayne's brothers been around since I was a young whippersnapper, and shall I say, before we even really knew what we was watching, like because back in the day we didn't have Netflix, we didn't have all these other platforms, we didn't have no Hulu, we didn't have no smart TV, so we had to
Right.
watch what they played on TV at the time. We didn't have 17 TVs in the house. We had a family TV in the front, and whatever was put on, we had to watch that. So of course, my grandma and them and my aunties and them was watching in living color, and that was my first intake, or like my first time knowing for learning about the Wayne's family, because they was just acting, and Sean, he was the DJ up on there, and
That's
they
right.
had, and they had
SW1. They called them
yes, and they had
SW1.
Jamie Foxx and all the legends from Jim Carrey,
Rosie
David Allen
Perez, the
Greer.
dancer,
Oh my
the fly
goodness,
girl.
like
Rosie
Rosie
Perez.
what?
Perez.
Yes, had all of those different and one of my favorite movies though, for real, y'all, like always and forever. And what made me start liking Kim Wayne's was so for real, y'all. It's the part on there where her and the husband, they was together, and y'all know they be fighting, and once somebody come in the room, they be like, "And we still together."
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that was hilarious. I remember
And
that.
Miss
That was
or
funny.
Miss Bonita Jenkins, and you ain't heard it from
Oh
me.
no, Anita. Oh yeah, I ain't the one to gossip, but you ain't heard it from me. Yeah,
So that's what
that's
made me start really liking them and watching them. But what was crazy though, one of my favorite movies and classics, I don't care, it's gonna always be, was Low Down Dirty Shame.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's one of my favorites too. Low Down Dirty. And going back to In Living Color though, some of my favorite skits, and I know some of these skits that they was doing on The Living Color, you could not do that today. Like in today's generation would be too sensitive. Like Damon Wayans playing as Handyman. Now Handyman was a handicapped superhero.
That was
Like,
funny, man.
they probably gonna ban me after I said because I'm laughing at this, but it was funny to me. I'm sorry. He
Homie the
had
clown.
Homie the Clown.
But
You
but but
know,
but so can I just give y'all my intake now? I get what y'all saying though too, because that's for the sensitive peoples, and like I said, those be for the people that look to just to be watching it versus looking to understanding too. Like to get the logistics. He wasn't really technically making fun of the mentally disabled or the quote unquote show. Our terminology say the handicap. What he was doing was still showing y'all that anybody could do anything, no matter what type of person and what that you got going on in your life. So
you
he was
right,
just saying
Yeah.
anything
right.
is possible. How would
Yeah.
a handicap superhero
Because he was kicking people ass. Like he had
once
that little note where he was
again?
like, ugh, like he was
Yes,
knocking
and
them
so it
out.
was just showing you that no, you
Yeah,
can't let certain things stop you. Like it's people out here that don't got no legs, but they in the Olympics.
yeah, nah, you right.
It's
It was in Olympics. He was able to fly. He was saving the world. People were in trouble, and he would go in there and save them.
and people that have like broad minds and mentalities and mindsets, they will think like like-minded people. They'll think like it was think like us, due to the fact I don't think that they was making fun of them. Still, I just feel like, once again, I just feel like they were just showing you anything is possible. So
They was bringing different aspects to life.
awareness, you hear me?
Yeah.
Mental health awareness or
Awareness. There
mental
you go.
disability awareness, letting them know like it don't matter just because you handicapped or not, you still can do whatever you
You
want to
can
do in
still
life.
do it. Good point. Those of y'all that's in the chats, if y'all remember In Living Color, which I know y'all do, drop in the chat some of your favorite In Living Color skits. Another one that was really edgy was when Damon and David Allen Greer played
Hated
as
it.
yeah,
Hated
yeah.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, now we know that wouldn't fly today. Like, and this the
Okay,
LGBTQ
so
community
wait,
would have them
can I
boys
say this
canceled.
though?
Yeah, they
That was
eat him
Now,
one of
up.
I'm
the
not saying
funniest
this.
skits.
Okay, I get what y'all saying to a certain extent, but now, if now, because the reason why I'm going back now, because I need to take it back to white chicks,
I
women.
think you're going through another tunnel.
No,
You
no, the
breaking
two
up. You
Wayne's
breaking
brothers.
up.
Remember when the brother?
Yeah, yeah, no, you was breaking up. Your audio was
Okay,
breaking up a little bit. Okay, you back now.
okay. Yeah, I say so. Remember when they played the white chicks, or whatever, and that was what like one of the top movies when it when it came out. But what blows me though with the because what we feel like, oh, they'll say something or get mad at us because of them, because they was portraying, or shall we say acting as they were gay men. But nowadays they letting all these men wear wigs and stuff and talk about how women act. So, and a lot of gay people's not bashing them and stuff. A lot of men's that's on social media platforms, that's how they became, that's how they become famous nowadays. Women dressing up as mothers, women, and talking about how black mothers is or this mother is, and how we act and things. So I'm not against it. I'm not saying that they probably wouldn't have said nothing about it, but what I'm saying is that, excuse me, everybody know for a fact that they wasn't, shall we say, gay, or shall we say, bisexual. So
Yeah,
they
yeah. I
and
mean,
those straight men's, like back in the day, you can tell a straight man versus a gay man. A lot of these men's, I'm not lying, that's on social media platforms, they be gay though. All jokes aside, they is real life bisexual. They transgender. They wearing dresses and they wear motherfucking pants. They want to wear full beards with nails, with makeup
yeah,
on.
this generation is
I'm not
definitely they're definitely a little bit more
and you never or heard, and
eccentric.
since we've been knowing them, right? Have you heard of anything, any fake allegations or real allegations of them ever being
Uh-oh, you breaking
signed?
up.
Have you
Yeah,
heard
you
like
breaking up, Yanni. You got to get your audio. You got to get. I'm gonna jump in real quick because your audio is breaking in. But no, I get 100% where you're getting at and what you're getting at. Like
uh huh?
the fact that they played, as two white women or whatever in the White Chicks movie. Even the fact
Terrible
that David
movie.
David Allen Greer and Damon Wayans played as the with the men on films, the men on books, and all that.
Yeah.
Yo, they up there snapping their fingers. They up there doing all kind of little innuendos and all kind of stuff. So they was basically, I mean, just to get back to the source of what we saying about the Wayans family, they were not afraid to push the envelope when it came to, doing edgy things, when it came to being controversial. As Sonia says also in the comments, and fire Marshall Bill. There's,
What? Come on,
there's a
girl.
lot of
So you
people,
touching some
there's a
stuff
lot
now?
of
Let
people
me tell you
that
something.
that would say, oh, I think it's offensive because people that's got burned before, you shouldn't make fun of them, and that's. But you know what? Your man Jim Carrey, he played that role. Let me show you something. Like
Yeah.
face all burnt up. He would go and do crazy stuff and get blown out of whack, and then his face be looking like Freddy Krueger.
Crazy.
Like exactly, Q.
But
Yeah,
Damon made he had the one where he was the homeless dude that had the booger
Oh,
collection.
if you
and
don't
time.
stop playing with the pickle jar, y'all, with the pickle
Yeah.
jar bathroom. Oh
Yeah,
my
he was
goodness.
the homeless guy. So there was
Oh
that.
my
And
God, it
then
was hilarious.
there was Damon Wayans who also played the extra conscious, or what they call now woke brother. Remember he
Oh,
was
Yeah.
oh
doing
my
Oh yeah.
goodness,
Yeah.
yes.
he was like now
Like the
perpendicular
Yeah.
perplexity of the conjugulation and your
oh
paps
yeah,
but
look, this your favorite. This one of your favorites, baby, cause you know the words
oh
he was
yeah,
saying. Come on.
I know it word for word. He was like,
Yeah.
and the phlebotomist nature, excuse me, phlebotomy
Yeah.
nature, along with my pasmoratic circumcision. And then he would go on and go into like, it was just hilarious to me.
Oh
But
yeah.
those are things that they would make fun, like they would poke fun at certain things in our community that we all laughed at. So salute to the Wayans brothers, the Wayans family, for opening up that door for us to have edgy comedy and not being afraid of
Fish.
that, of the outcome or the feedback. So like I said, they open up a lot of doors because without the Wayans, there would be no Jim Carrey, there would be no David Allen Greer, there would be no Tommy Davidson, there would be no Jamie Foxx, there would be no Rosie Perez, there would
Jennifer
be
Lopez.
Jennifer J Lo.
Ooh, a
J
lot of
Lo,
them.
a lot, most of them. So there wouldn't be none of that if it wasn't for the Wayans family. So shout out to the Wayans family and congratulations to them on their NAACP Image Award. So that is definitely what's up. Salute to the Wayans family, y'all. Oh man, good stuff. Yo, we are. I'm looking at the time, man. We done went way over. We got Yanni Ma, the ferry plug mother. She's in transit, commuting from point A to point wherever she is out there
In
right
the
now.
limo.
She in the limo. She in
Electric
that
treatment.
limo over there. She in the stretch Hummer. Shout out
No,
to Yanni Ma,
y'all.
the stretch Hummer. But yeah, we gonna roll right into our 2 minute turn up right now because we done, we went a little bit over. We know the show ran a little bit late tonight, but we're gonna do this every Thursday night. Is gonna be called Thursday Night Out of Bounds, and the reason it's out of bounds is because we're a sports show, but on Thursdays we going out of bounds. We going outside of sports, and we're gonna have the Fairy Plug mother in here who's touring all over the world right now. But my 2 minute turn up, I just want to say this. I'm going to shift my 2 minute turn up over to sports. Now, this is March Madness right now, Q to beat and Yanni Ma. March Madness means that we filled out these brackets for college basketball tournaments to determine who we think is going to win the college basketball championship. Every blood clot year, the very first round of the tournament has these major upsets. And I'm starting to think, are these upsets being fixed, Q? Because think about it. We filling out brackets, and if you get your bracket correct all the way to the final four and pick the correct champion, you win like, what is it, $1 million, $500,000, $1 million? They got to pay out. So I think, and here come Noomsy and his conspiracy theories. I think that the NCAA, ESPN, and all these people that put together these brackets are purposely fixing these games so that we can have a lot of upsets in the first round so that they can blow up everybody's brackets early. So now we done all picked all of these higher seeded teams to win in the first round, but there's at least half of them that's losing in the first round. So we ain't getting paid off of that. And the NCAA is saving money by having all of these teams lose who's supposed to be winning. It just looked fishy to me. And if it smells like what I always say, Q, where there's smoke, there's dodo. And I think there's some dodo going on with the NCAA and these bracket challenges. I'm mad because my bracket is blown up on day one. TZ Dave's bracket is blown up. Q to beat, I don't know if you even did a bracket, but if you did, I'm sure your bracket's done too.
Yeah,
Creighton, it's done on day one, right? Exactly.
I threw it away.
So man, look, if y'all filling out brackets from now on, make sure that y'all pick at least 5 upsets in the first round. At least 5. Because 5 teams that you think is going to win is not going to win, and they doing it on purpose. That's all I got for my 2 minute turn up. Yanni Ma, this is your last 2 minutes to talk about whatever you want to talk about for your 2 minute turn up, and then we'll turn it over to Q for him to close us out. What you got, Yanni Ma, for your 2 minute turn up?
Okay, yes. So tonight, you guys, I want to talk about is women's safety awareness involves. I need you guys to be vigilant, trusting your instincts, taking proactive steps to enhance personal safety, including learning self-defense techniques and using technology wisely. Basically, I'm gonna give y'all a few breakdowns. It's a situational awareness. Be alert, trust your instincts, avoid distractions, change your routines, keep valuables out of sight. Number 2, self-defense and safety measurements. Learn self-defense techniques, carry a safety device, create a scene, use nonverbal cues. Number 3, your technology and communications. Use technology wisely, far as GPS trackers, emergency contact buttons, and to share your location with trusted contacts. Also, inform people of your plans. Avoid oversharing on social media. Use technology for safety. Number 4, your legal and social support. Know your rights. Seek help. Report crimes. Advocates for change. Speak out against violence and discrimination, and support organizations organizations that work to end violence against women. Last thing, you're going to create safe spaces. Avoid advocates for the creation of safe spaces for women and girls, including safe public transportation, well-lit streets, and accessible services. The last but not least, ladies, is your workplace safety. Sexual harassment policies. Make sure that your workplace has a clear policy on sexual harassment and that you know how to report it. Create awareness. Encourage open communication about workplace safety and create a culture where women feel comfortable reporting issues. And the last but not least, safety transportation and infrastructures. Advocate for safety transportation options and well-maintained infrastructure in your workplace and surroundings. And most important, again, ladies, make sure that you guys always, when y'all leave together, y'all come back together. I don't care what nobody say. Do y'all understand me? You leave together, you go out together, you go home together. And that's what I want to tell you, girls. Be loving, be caring, no hate, no jealousy, and your friends and care and be supportive. And I'm out, you guys.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yanni just saved some lives with that one. Y'all, I hope y'all ladies is listening because that's some really good stuff. She just spoke a whole gospel there. And I'm surprised. Y'all ladies in the comments, y'all need to be giving her snaps and claps and props or whatever it is y'all do when y'all acknowledge that a sister just kicked some knowledge because she just spoke a whole word. And I hope y'all listening because she just saved some lives. Cue the beat. Take us home, my brother.
All right, y'all be safe out there. March Madness, you suck. You just made everybody look stupid once again. I'm ready for football, man. I'm ready for football. I'm ready for the NBA Finals playoffs start. I guess we can wait for the championship game to see who's gonna make it there for March Madness. But yeah, I knew the first day was gonna be crazy. It happens every year. If not the first round, the second round, you done. You done. You make it to the past to round 3. Wow, you got lucky. But hey, it might be fixed, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tune in, like, share, subscribe, follow us, SportsTime_Zone.
That's right. Cue the beat, man. Appreciate that. Make sure y'all hit the like, the share, the subscribe. We appreciate y'all. Everybody in the chat that showed love. Shout out to Kiana. Shout out to Sonia. Shout out to TZ Dave, who was up here in the comments earlier. Shout out to Elena Parker. Shout out to cousin Noomsi. Yo, thanks everybody once again for tuning in. We got a special Saturday show coming up this Saturday. The weekend special. Yours truly, Brother Noomsi. I'm going to be live at Third Base Sports Bar in Round Rock, Texas, alongside my man Kelvo, alongside my man Pressure, alongside my man Diesel Greasel, LP, and yours truly, Brother Noomsi. We will be going live from the sports bar. So make sure y'all lock in. We're going to talk about college football, college basketball, all the sports. We got it all. And we're going to be live from the sports bar. So make sure y'all tune in for that. For Yanni the Fairy Plug Mother, my producer, Q the Beat, my co-host, TZ Dave, in the comments who's not here, I am Brother Noomsi. This is the Sports Time Zone. And we are out.